Hello and welcome to Monster Mash Movie Marathon Day 3 and today's film The Carnival of Souls or Carnival Souls 1962. For the case of this review, I would like to clarify that I've seen this film before, but I wanted to bit of a long story. So recently I got Amazon Prime, and the Amazon Prime Video thing, or the Amazon Video app was on my PS4. They have all of the riff tracks. You have some of the riff tracks live episodes up. So what I did was I watched the riff tracks live episode of. In the riff tracks, they're looking at the colored one. This year, I wanted to talk more about really bad B movies and some actual like good B movie horrors. And I think Carnival of Souls comes into the good category. Even though we'll talk about the plot, which I'm not really that hot about. But I actually like this film in a lot of ways. I think the atmosphere is good. You have that Carnival of Souls. No, you have the Carnival idea in your mind the whole way throughout the film, and it only has become a bit of a cult classic, if you will, for many years. I think rightfully so. I think that this film doesn't really get the amount of credit that some other films at the time do, because the atmosphere is good, the acting is decent, the music is quite haunting in some aspects of the film, and it's just a relatively decent structured movie. It's really tight. It's a very tight movie. The big thing about this film is, if you've seen any Twilight Zone episodes, this feels like one big long one. That kind of goes into the plot of the film. So I want to talk about the plot because I think it's important for discussions of this film. So we have our main character. She's driving with her friends, and she's racing another car, and the other car has a bunch of lads in it, and they get onto this bridge where it's really only one car can actually get on it at once at the same time, but they kind of squeeze two cars on it, and the guy's girl's car off the road, causing it to fall into the river below. And there's only one survivor, and that's her main character. It's a big hullabaloo of she's being stalked by this ghoulish character, this ghoul guy person, and she doesn't know what's happening. She doesn't really know. She doesn't really know why she's the only one alive, and it's just she's questioning her sanity throughout the film. Later on, it's a really haunting scene in it where she's in this kind of department store, and then she goes just around asking people stuff, and she's getting ignored, and she's freaking out, and she's and she kind of snaps out, but this kind of happens throughout the film. I'm not really sure if it's like I'm talking like about the film, about the film's ending at this point. I don't know if it's heavily flagged or I just got what I was trying to do with her. Spoilers for a 1962 film, but she's actually dead. Now, I'm not really sure if I just watched horror thrillers, Twilight Zone episodes, but I kind of knew what was going to happen, like the first time I watched this film, and I think that kind of ruins it. But it's so kind of a stereotypical ending that I think it doesn't have the same like effect that it should have. Because on one hand, I'm kind of to blame because I've seen like a bunch of stuff like this before, where the character is, dead before before the movie starts. Another great film that I'm thinking about. I thought this year I might talk about, but I think it needs its own film. I think it needs its own film review. Is Jacob's Ladder, which is one of my favorite underrated horror films, because it's just absolutely great. Such a great film. But the Carnival just has that kind of, and they're dead all along type thing going on. And I don't think that it works with a modern audience. I think that they would know exactly what's gonna happen and how it's gonna happen, something like that. So I'm not really sure if the ending kind of works in modern day. However, this film was an independent film in the 60s, which is kind of crazy to think about. And it has inspired a lot of well-known filmmakers and whatnot. Because like the story goes that this kind of crowd was making like educational videos, and then they said, hey, do you wanna like make something more like a film? And the director goes, yeah, okay. And so they made this film, and that was kind of it. Now, as like a first time film, it's actually quite good. You get, as I said before, with the pluses, you have a lot of atmosphere. You have a lot of creepy music. You have a lot of good-ish acting. Has become like this kind of cult classic, in its own right, and rightfully so. I think my kind of hang-ups with the ending really shouldn't stop you from watching this film. I just found it very stereotypical, starting and ending and whatnot. It's still a really, really good, and that's kind of the reason why I wanted to talk about it in this year's Monster Mash movie marathon, because I find it pretty much everywhere where there is a top 10 or top 50 or top 100 underrated horror films. Just kind of, it's always on the list, and it's always kind of like if we're talking like a 50 it's always like in like the 20s or 10s. You know, it's up there with like other underrated horror films. So I just want to make a spotlight about it today. Carnival Souls 1962. Go watch it because it's a really, really good little film from a place where you don't, you know, independent cinema nowadays it's very out there, but in the 60s it really wasn't the case, and it was really, really rare to find just independent cinema, just on this scale. Like, it wasn't like a bunch of lads from college going out and shooting like a horror film. Like, it wasn't that. Like, this was a legit company who was making as I said, he was making educational videos and wanted to expand their horizon. So I think that's very amicable as well. So yeah, anyway guys, so that's it for day 3 of the Monster Mash movie marathon 2K19. I'll see ya next week. Goodbye.